Hey guys, Bob again. I'm going to get started with how I clean my two deer skulls. So the first one was from last year. That one didn't take too much work. I just had to scrub some dirt off of it. So water hose with a little bit of jet stream to it, and it was fine. Just rubbed off that dirt. The other one though, I had to do a little bit of work on it. That one took quite a bit of time, and it's windy out here today. So I didn't get to show you guys exactly how to do it, but I'll show you the tools that we used. Alright, so what really helped me, first of all, you need a good knife. So you're going to need a knife to get off the major pieces of skin, a little bit of flesh that's still on there. Once you get it down so far, you can really damage the skull if you're not careful. So in nooks and crannies, just get you a steel wire brush. That'll be good enough to rough it up and take a little bit of what's left off. If you really need to do a lot of surface area, I have this little attachment. It's the same thing, it's a steel brush, but it works wonders and saves you a little bit of elbow grease if you put it on a little power drill. So that's really it, and you just clean up the skull. This is the one I had to do the work on. It really came out quite nice, but it did take some time. So if you want a good product, you're going to have to put a little bit of time in. I definitely recommend taking your time when you do this. Do it right the first time, or it's really going to tell when you do the paint. Alright, so I'm going to zoom in here a little bit so you guys can see. I started to prep for this. Something you really got to pay attention to is this area. You're going to want to paint up in here. And so if we tilt this upside down, you'll see that paint can get in there all the way to the actual bone. But when you're taping up, I like to tape mine up down here at the bottom first before the next step. And I'll leave just a little bit of overhang so that I can actually wrap some of that tape along the bottom side of these antlers here. You don't want wide antlers. So I like to use masking tape. Couldn't find mine. I don't even know if I have any right now. So just to go ahead and get started, I just use regular clear tape. Both of it's fine. This is actually just packing tape. So clear tape will work fine, whatever you got. So believe it or not, the next thing I'm going to do before I paint is I have to make sure that none of that spray from that paint gets on these antlers. Really would just ruin the whole thing. So what I use is literally a grocery bag, and all I do is fit that grocery bag right over the top of an antler. Just like so. And then I'll take down here at the bottom, be careful, especially if you have long tines, you may start to poke through the bag. That's okay if you poke through the bag, just try to minimize it. And just wrap it down here at the bottom. And I'll tape that up again. Tape's kind of sticky. I guess tape should be though, huh? So I'll do that, and I'll finish the tape job on it, and then we'll be good to go ahead and put a coat of paint on. So let me get this the rest of the way done, show you guys what it looks like when it's fully set up before I start painting. Welcome back, guys. So yeah, this is what it looks like. Kind of goofy, but it works. All you have to do is leave it on long enough for you to paint anyway. Obviously it's not going to stay like that, but that tape down there on the bottom is you can see it's good and wrapped around the bottom, so I shouldn't get any paint on the actual antlers. We are good to go. Go ahead and start painting this bad boy, and we'll show you what it looks like after we're done. Alright guys, I'm going to go ahead and start painting this thing. Just watch. It's not real hard if you don't know how to spray paint. Surely you do. But if not, it doesn't take much. You don't want to go super heavy coats. You're going to go with a light coat, so oops. Hang it top over. Alright, here we go. And there you have it. That's all there is to it. All we're doing is making sure that the skull is clean as you can get it. You don't want anything left on that skull. And then we take the skull and we tape it up so we don't get paint on the antlers, and bag up the antlers, spray paint the skull. We're just going to let it dry. I'm going to do 2 coats. If that's not good enough, maybe it needs a little more white, I'll put 3 on it. And that's all there is to it. A little bit of Rust-Oleum white gloss paint. That's it. I can get mine from the dollar store. Works just fine. Alright, hey guys, Bob here again. So, just kind of show you guys how these mounts finished up after they dried. Here is that 8-point I shot last season. If you can't tell, there's half of the nose piece right here. This is a very brittle part, very easy to break. I was too rough with mine, so it broke, and anyway, I just decided not to glue that other piece back in. It broke in a couple of tiny pieces, so that's fine. This is my first go around at it, but lesson learned on that one. As you can see, it's white all the way around. You want to make sure you get all in every one of these holes and these cavities. Spray back in there as far as you can. All the way back up in the nose piece. That actually took a few more coats to get all up in here, just so I didn't have any of that actual bone look. It was all white. Same thing on this side. Just make sure you're really getting in those crevices. Don't be afraid to go too thick on the coat. More paint, I think, is better than most other applications. See the detail in it there, all the crevices. That paint just, if you go real light coats, you can go plenty of coats and you still get that good detail in that skull. And the antlers are still, I like to leave that dark color on them. I've seen some where it's not, almost the whole set of antlers starts to fade. I scrubbed these with a little scrub brush, little metal scrub brush. I don't want to go too extreme on it, but I did have a lot of dirt build up in here from when I buried the head. So that's it for this little guy. And then I done this one at the same time. This is the bigger deer that I killed this season. This one was early season. This is my actually personal best deer ever here. I didn't do as good as I should have on the back. Let me show you what I'm talking about. If you can tell, there's a little bit of skin material still there. I don't even know what you'd call that. It's not really the skin, it's just a little layer of, it's not meat either, I guess it would have to be skin. But I didn't scrub all of that off like I thought I had, and when it dried it stuck up with the paint, so I'm just going to have to live with that. But the rest of it is very similar to the other one. I mean, I just took my time, made sure I got all the way back in those eye sockets, all the way back in these sinus cavities, even got back in the brain area. You know, make sure I'm spraying up in there, getting every little nook and cranny that I can. So yeah, that is it. That is what your Euro mount looks like. And if you want to buy one of those expensive mounts, you can. If you don't like those expensive mounts, I found a little how-to guide on YouTube. Somebody was making some cheap ones and kind of inspired me to try my own. So I just went to the local hardware store and got me some flat bar, long shank bolt, couple nuts, couple of washers, and for I think less than $5 I had a mount. All I had to do was bend it. I drilled an extra hole in mine because I like 2 mount holes. So yep, we'll show you that here next. Alright guys, I'm going to show you real quick. I'm just going to zoom in on this and let you see what I'm talking about with the brain cavity sitting on that bolt, and then the roof of the mouth and the nose actually laying on that flat bar. So let me zoom in here real quick. Alright. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to take this brain cavity, and I'm going to set it down on that bolt head. And then right here, there's actually a little channel that fits just perfect on that flat bar. And I just let it rest right in between it. There it is. Yep. Now I like 2 mount holes on mine. I'm going to lift this up or twist it that way just so you can see. Mount hole here, and there's another one back here. I wanted something to cover that up. Maybe I'll do a little better job with something else, but for right now I'll just use the pheasant tail from who knows how many years ago that was. But it just kind of covers it up. And guys, like I was saying, super cheap way to hang these up. If you don't want to buy one of those $25, $30, some even $40 mount brackets, this is literally a trip to the hardware store, get you some, I think I got 1/8 inch, or you can do whatever you want to, just some flat bar. Drill you some holes in each end. I like 2 down here in the bottom. I kind of covered this one up, but up in the top, this one had a pre-manufactured hole. I just bend my bar, drill a hole, stick you a bolt through that's a little oversized, nut and a washer on the bottom, another nut and a washer on the top. You tighten those down to hold it against the bar, and the rest of the bolt here, the shank and the head, is what actually sits up in the brain cavity of the deer, and that's what it rests on. I like to have as much of the flat bar left extending out from the head of the bolt so that the nose piece and the top of the mouth on the mount can rest on that and give it a little more stability. Well guys, that's about it. Thanks for watching my process of doing my Euro mounts. This was my first time doing a whole batch at once, so I done 2 of my deer. Check out another one of my videos. I'm going to show you what I did. I killed 2 deer this year. I decided to make my own set of Randall antlers out of his. He wasn't what I would consider, I guess, really mount worthy. So tune in for that one if you want to watch how to make your own set to use in the woods. Till next time guys, shoot what makes you happy. See ya.